It was around 9 months ago that I saw this watch for the very first time, and I knew immediately it was going to be a watch that I was going to fall in love with. I knew I was going to get very strong tingles from this watch. I was seeing all the videos pop up on YouTube. It's got sort of flat facets. It's an all stainless steel sports watch with interesting details on it, some sharpish sort of corners. It's just got a really, really cool look to it. I love the dial. I knew immediately this is a watch I need to get in to review. I reached out to Alexander at Tuseno to see if he had a spare Windseeker available for me to review, but sadly he did not. This watch did particularly well and they sold out very, very quickly. So I have reviewed other Tuseno watches, but I've had to wait, that is, until now to get one of these in for review, and I am very lucky to be holding, it is a prototype. I don't normally say yes to prototypes, but I made an exception in this particular case because, well, I've been looking forward to getting this watch in for 9 months or so, and yeah, this is the new version, a version 2, which is going to be launching very, very soon. There are a few changes between this version 2 and the version 1. I'll run through those along with all the other specifications, and of course, I'm going to show you some lovely pictures of this incredible watch. I mean, just look at it. It is gorgeous. It's got that sort of shape that I really, really like. Flat facets, a mix of finishing, a gorgeous bracelet, really interesting dial, gorgeous applied indexes with a mix of brushed and polished finishing. I mean, it is the sort of watch I love, and it has not disappointed despite being a prototype, and actually for a prototype it's in pretty good condition. The only weakness that this prototype has is the loom. The new version 2 production watch will have improved loom. This has the same loom that was on the version 1, but apparently apart from that, this is exactly the same as the production watches that you would receive should you buy one of these new version 2s. Now let me quickly run through the other changes that have been made to improve this watch. The date wheel is color coded, which is a good decision, I think. The bracelet has been improved and there are now half links. The bracelet articulation has also been improved. Again, I didn't get my hands on the version 1, but yeah, there's fantastic articulation with this bracelet. It is gorgeous. The loom has been upgraded to grade A BGW9 Swiss Super Luminova, and on the version 1 there was some numbers on the rehow, I believe. Those have been removed for this version 2. A good decision. So I think all of the changes, are good ones. So it looks like Alexander has made what was already an incredible watch even better. Now, before I run through all the specifications, let me just quickly talk about the price and the launch. Available from the 4th of July, and between the 4th and the 11th, it will be available for $599 US. The regular pre-order price is going to be $649, and then just the standard price once it's launched is going to be $699 US. So it's not the most affordable micro brand watch, but yeah, I think the prices, when you see all the specifications and you see the build quality, I think you'll see that actually these prices are very reasonable. And this is, let's not forget, okay, it's a Swedish brand, but it is a Swiss-made watch. And we know that Swiss-made watches do come with a bit of a sort of Swiss-made watch tax, don't they? Oh, and during the sort of early order stage, you'll get a free rubber strap, but I don't have the strap, so I'm just going to focus on reviewing this watch on this all stainless steel bracelet. Right, let's run through some of the key specifications. I'll put the dimensions, the water resistance, the weight on the screen. The movement, Sellita SW200, a standard version of that movement, still a very, very good movement, 28,800 beats per hour. Hacks and hand winds, and of course you can see that movement because there is a display caseback. 100 meters of water resistance, screw down caseback and a screw down crown. 2 pieces of sapphire crystal, that is a piece of sapphire crystal in the caseback, and of course you've got sapphire crystal protecting the dial. It is a piece of flat sapphire crystal with AR coating. Incredible specifications throughout, the sort of specifications that you would expect to be included on a watch like this at this sort of price point. So solid links, solid end links, screw pins, double-ended quick release spring bars. So should you get the watch with that free rubber strap, you'll be able to swap the strap and the bracelet over nice and quick. Butterfly clasp, I know that isn't everybody's favourite, and it's not my favourite on certain watches, but on watches like this, as long as they have included some sort of micro adjustment, which they have, which is great news. I love, well, I think that's perhaps a bit too strong. I like butterfly clasps on watches like this with bracelets like this, because you get fantastic continuation of these links and this bracelet all the way around your wrist. And yeah, I don't find them uncomfortable. They're just not perhaps as flexible as some clasps that you might see on dive watches, some clasps that have on the fly adjustment. But yeah, they are perfect for watches like this. They're nice and discreet, and yeah, it is just nice to see that sort of light play all the way around your wrist, and these links are beautifully finished. Female end links as well, and yeah, Alexander has provided a lot of links, so this watch is going to suit people with smaller than average wrists, because you can remove plenty of links, and those female end links just mean you're going to get this watch to wrap around even the smaller than average wrists. But also the inclusion of lots and lots of spare links means it's going to fit larger than average wrists, and it's not a small watch, it's a fairly average sized sports watch. So yeah, I think they've opened this watch up to almost everyone. 316L stainless steel, of course. The crown is signed, the bracelet is signed, the dial is signed, the finishing is incredible, the brushing is gorgeous. It's perhaps a bit more coarse than average, but I don't mind that at all. It seems to be very consistent between the case and the bracelet. For a prototype watch, I have to say the finishing on this is incredible. So if you get the same level of finishing on a production watch, I suspect it will be even better, but if you do get this level of finishing, you'll definitely be happy with it. Although there is one thing I would like to see changed when it comes to the finishing. The sides of the case are polished, and you've got this sort of little facets on the corner of the case, and normally you would see brushing on the side, brushing on the top, and then a polished sort of chamfered corner running the length of the case. But you don't get that on this particular case, because the sides of the case are polished. That corner is also polished. Yes, you get brushing on top of the case, but yeah, I just think that polished side to the case is just a bit too big to be polished. I'd definitely like to see that brushed. But really, that is about it in terms of complaints with the finishing. The case back has been beautifully finished as well. The polished elements look really nicely done. I mean, the bezel is just gorgeous. I love bezels like this. Again, you've got that polished chamfered edge running around the corner of the bezel, and a really sort of strong brushed north-south, top to bottom directional. I mean, it's just cool, isn't it? I do really like watches that have bezels like this. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's just the type of finishing, that sort of mix of finishing. It's good. I love the case shape as well. The crown is proportionally, I'd say it's about as big as I'd want it to be. I don't think it's too big. I don't think it's oversized, but it's not the smallest crown, is it? But yeah, the case shape is just gorgeous. Love the case shape, and I haven't even spoken about the dial. The dial is designed to sort of replicate that wooden finish that you'll see on some really fancy boats. A sort of deck, if you like. There is a sunburst effect, and then you've got a sort of textured outer ring. There's quite a lot going on, actually. It's fairly subtle to some degree, but once you've seen all these little design elements, they are then easy to see again. You've got a round date window at the 6 o'clock, which I really like. A smaller applied index below that, but gorgeous applied indices throughout the dial. The hands are really nice. Dual facet polished hands. Splash of colour on the second hand, which matches some of the print on the dial. I mean, it's just got so much stuff on it that I really like. I don't think this watch could get much better. The end link fit is good. The end link design is good. It's sort of ends where the lugs end. I think really my only complaint is that perhaps there's just too much polishing on the side of the watch, on the side of the case and the side of the bracelets. Yeah, apart from that, I think it's almost perfect. I don't like to use that word when I review watches because no watch is perfect. And this watch isn't perfect, but I tell you what, it's bloody good. It's been well worth the wait, quite honestly. I've waited 9 months to get my hands on this watch, and despite it being a prototype, yeah, I'm not disappointed at all. In fact, I think my expectations have been met and more. I'd love to see in my hands some of the other colours. There's some really cool colours available. A bright orange one, which I think would probably be my pick, actually. I did ask to review this particular version. I just thought it was a little bit more understated than the more colourful ones. But now that I've seen this one, I'm not disappointed by it, but yeah, I think it would be good to see this watch in my light box with a bit of colour on the dial. Wow, it's awesome, and yeah, I'm super impressed, actually. This is an incredible brand, isn't it? A Swedish brand, and you get, well, I don't know if you guys get them, but Alexander sends me Swedish biscuits, which my wife steals off me immediately. Yeah, every time he sends me a watch to review, I get a box of biscuits or a little packet of Swedish biscuits. They're really, really nice. I don't tend to get too many of them, but yeah, I always look forward to reviewing Alexander's watches, and this by far is my favourite. Their dive watch is great, but this is just another level.